This anti-Paul guide goes over common situation you will face whenever fighting Paul and how to beat them. Okay, so let's get started. Part of Paul's base game plan is to make you whiff a lot and use his down forward 2. And as you will see in this video, he has many situations or strings where he can set his down forward 2 up to crush your jabs or get you launched. Also, since Paul has like highly damaging mids, you generally don't want to duck against Paul often. Even if he's using, things like Demo Man, you don't want to be too quick to duck. And lastly, in neutral, it's really good to sidestep right or sidewalk right against Paul. It avoids almost all his options, but of course, there are exceptions. And in Paul's case, these exceptions can get you launched, so we'll cover these as well because they're really important with this character. But before we go into that, let's first look at how Paul generally wants to get in and start his pressure. The first move we look at is forward 2-1. This one, it's extremely important to duck this move whenever you can. Because otherwise, it's a really common shoulder setup. So, if I try to press jabs afterward, I will get clipped. To beat that, you can actually walk, or in Nina's case, if you have a move like 1+4 or down forward 1, of course you can beat these things. The reason why 1+4 is good in my case is because at -4 this move is pretty much homing, so it will also catch Paul walking, which is really good to have, so make sure to check if you have something similar to catch both options. Also be aware he has a mid extension from this move, so especially if you're at the wall he could mix you up and get a splat. So it's super important to punish this move whenever you can, because it's -12, or parry this move, or sidestep it to any side, doesn't matter, it's really easy to stab. And lastly, there's a low follow-up as well, but this is so slow that you will see it, and if they do it, you can just launch them. And lastly, this move actually tracks to his weak side, so if you try to step or walk right against this move, it will hit you, so this is super good to know. It's way easier to step to the other side. Next, we have this move, up forward 2. 22 frames fast, +5 on block. What many people don't know, this move is a high, you can duck it, and also it's linear, so it's quite easy to step or walk. Now there are many options Paul players like to use after this move, for example down forward 2, which you can step right, but if you step left you'll get caught. Another move they like to use is called the so-called back 4, this homing move right here, right? Naturally, if you step Paul's down forward 2, a lot of Paul players will start using this move, but because of this, what you could do to beat both options is to sidestep right into duck. Now, something really important to know about Paul is that he has a 14 frame launcher, this back 3 knee. And the problematic thing about this knee is it tracks to his weak side, so if we try to step right here, as you can see, you'll get launched. This is one of his exceptions I was telling you earlier about, so this is why in certain situations, to avoid this mix-up, you need to step left. But then again, if you step left, his down forward 2 will catch you, right? So this is really important to know about Paul, and you need to be aware of this so you can make the right decisions depending on, wherever you play, what they like to do, their habits. So remember this, back 3. Also, problem, this move is safe at -6. Beautiful, I know. Now, of course, since this move is +5 on block, he can do, down forward 1, right, and down forward 1 mix-up to sways. He could reuse lows, and by the way, Paul's lows are really good because, as you can see, +4, right, 0. The good thing is, back forward this low, side step 3 this low, as well as quarter circle forward 3. These are his 3 main lows. If he uses up forward 2, you can sidewalk right each of these lows, which is really good to know. So if you see him abuse lows, you can walk them. But to catch you, he has a sweep, right? This move, which will catch any sidestep attempts. If he uses this after this move, what you can do is backdash. And even if he hits you, you see, he won't get a clean hit, which means he doesn't get a free follow-up on this move either. So this can be really good because backdash will also block his down forward 2, back 3, you know, and generally all the mid options he will throw at you. Now, a really cool thing, in case you're a Nina player watching this, you can actually Hayashida all, like, pretty much all of his common options, which is kind of insane. Just take a look at this. Right, next approach move is his down forward 4, this huge long range knee. And reason why it's so good, it's only -2 on block, which just means he doesn't lose his turn entirely, right? He can still move, or he can shoulder if you try to retaliate with jabs, and even if you try to play safe or mid check, he can just use 2-3 as you see for 45 damage, and it also splats 10 frame move, really good. Of course, to beat this, you can just side step right again, like generally against Paul, but then again be aware, if he sees you step off, then he can use back 3, and if you step to the left to beat back 3, he can then again use down forward 2. As for shoulder, as always, you can just, you know, interrupt it, walk, or just block and launch. So maybe you start to see some common patterns, right? Back 3, down forward 2, and you know, if you step a lot, of course you can also use this safe quarter circle back 4 homing move again. And once a Paul sees you, you're just blocking, for example, of course they will try to use lows or attack you with up forward 2, which we just covered before. So you really want to observe the Paul players, what they're doing after this move, if you can recognize any flowcharts they're using, and then act accordingly. Another common option is walking to beat your quick pokes, certain lows, right? And of course, here again, it depends which side he goes, but that's where mind games come into play, right? Lastly, this move, forward 4, I'm pretty sure you've seen it a million times. Every Paul player uses it because it's +2, leaves him in crouch and opens up some of his full crouch mix-up game. For example, while rising 1-2 into his backsway combos. The good thing here for Paul is that this move trades with the down for 1 and leaves him at +5, so you know, it's still his turn. Also, this move tracks to his weak side, which is extremely important to know. You always want to step this to the left. And of course, down 1 can be a really annoying option. Actually, there's one more move I need to cover because it's super important, and it's a move, or a stance, he got during, I think, update 1.05. Anyway, it's, you know, from his crouch dash, he can actually press forward, down forward, and what you see, he goes in this like weird stance animation. And what Paul players like to do now is, you know, crouch dash into, oh, not this one, in this move. It's the stance is called deep dive, and this move is deep dive down forward 2-1. The thing is, why it's so good is because, let me show you. Like, first of all, This move has amazing pushback, as you can see, and it's only -5. And as you can see at the wall, it gets even better. Now he is at +7. +7 means he can do whatever he wants to mix you up. This is why this move is extremely dangerous and important, because they will approach with this move a lot, especially when you're at the wall. But as you can see, this move, the second hit is a high, and yes, you can duck it and launch. But because it's Tekken 8, obviously this would have been too easy, right? Because he has a mid follow-up, mid variation, -13, crouched, important, and it also wall splits. Holy crap. Oh, and one more thing about his deep dive stance. Of course he has another mix-up or another move to mix you up, and most of the case this will be this low. So it's deep dive down 4. God. 0 on blow, 0 on hit. And yeah, expect this move as well, because you know Paul's goal is to make you duck. Oh boy, and one more thing, why this move is so good, the deep dive down forward 2-1. It has high crush frames, meaning they like to abuse this move because you know they can duck under your jabs or like some strings, whatever. It has evasion properties, as you can see. See, it's a bit tricky, but like you don't know how often I got hit by this move, because you know, like here they went under my height. So definitely good to know. So be patient, use quick mid pokes if they you know, spam this move a lot, and don't get hit by this stupid move, especially at the wall. Okay, let's go with key moves. If you fought any Paul, you'll 100% absolutely guaranteed have seen this move, which is, you know, down forward 1 into his backsway. His option from backsway include backsway 1, backsway 2, heat engager, -9, remember that, backsway 3, low string actually, that's mostly used at the wall, as you will see in the wall section. Backsway 4, the common homing counter launcher, that's also +1. And his 1+2, which is also natural hit launcher, -14. Now here's the thing. This, actually, you can step most of these moves right, as you can see. And even if he does the low or the homing right here, what usually used to work great was just, you know, sidestep right and duck. You see? There's this exception. What you just saw is the quarter circle. Yeah, it's the backsway 1+2. This move can sometimes catch you. It takes a bit of practice. Also here, right? You have to be quick. You see, it's weird. Like many things in Tekken 8. But generally, you can evade all his options doing this. Anyway, I say used, like, you know, sidestep right, duck used to be a perfect option select. But here's the thing. Since he got his deep dive option, Paul can actually go into deep dive from his, you know, backsway, like in this case down forward 1, you know, hold back, like here, and boom, you see, he can again use this crappy move we talked about. And this thing, because it's you know, because it's a kind of, how to say, crouch dash move, it tracks, or it can hit you, especially if you duck, right? You just get hit. So if you see people, you know, doing the deep dive stuff after you know, the backsway, they want to catch you stepping or ducking, whatever. So yeah, this is what Paul can do if you, you know, start option selecting, you know, doing this side step right duck, or whatever options your character has, right? But yeah, Paul can counter this with his deep dive options. Now here's the thing, not only that, of course he can also choose to just backsway and do nothing, right? Like this. And you know, if you spam anything, then you know he can hurt you badly. Like he can just launch you with down forward 2, right? Or I don't know, do a demo man low, death fist, whatever, right? So definitely don't spam, because I say that because actually you can, you know, even though this, you see this transition, this +3 on block, on block, you can pretty much interrupt all of his options. You know, a lot of them you can just launch, or you know, counter hit. You see, you can definitely stop this offense. It's fake pressure in a sense. But again, you can just, you know, backsway, make you whiff, or what many people like to do with Paul is, let me show you. They do, you know, a cancel, and then they do, you know, this. Let me record this again. Into the side step free low. Let me show you. Because you see, you whiff, boom, he gets this low, and he's at +4. So best thing you can do is you know, see what they do after backsways, see how they adapt after you interrupt them, for example, or after you sidestep, right, and duck. Yeah, really watch their habits and choose your counter strat, right? And of course, since he can go into, you know, his deep dive, down forward to 1. Remember, it has high crush properties, so you could get hit badly again, especially at the wall if you're, you know, trying to, you know, interrupt, like with Nina, for example, with Magic 4, right? Which counters all his options, but yeah, you see, except like he goes for this deep dive down forward to 1 again, he can just crush me and hurt me badly. Now since you wanna step to the right generally against Paul, also with his down forward 1 or his backsway stuff, he also has another option to catch your sidestep right, which is his down forward loops, like, you know, down forward 1 into backsway into another down forward 1, which you often see, right? This you have to step left, like, you know, most down forward ones. But you can actually interrupt it easily with, you know, a 12 frame move, or, you know, jabs, or of course you could just, you know, parry it. Wait. There you go. Yeah, or again, if you're Nina, which is super nasty, you can Hayashida. Like, it just goes under, you see? It crushes the second mid. It's crazy. Anyway, definitely check your options you have with your character, you know, to interrupt all his loops. You know, quick save options, preferably mid if you can, you know, to cover most of the options. Like, you know, Nina, I can down forward 4, except, you know, of course, if he sidestep cancels into neutral, I will whiff. But yeah, definitely check what you can do with your character against these things. Oh, and by the way, actually even on hit, if Paul hits you with down forward 1, goes into backsway, you can still parry his go-to-cycle or his backsway 1, 2, and 4. So, you know, except for his low, of course, and the 1+2 launcher. But it's really good to know that even on hit, you can still parry. And of course, lastly, his down forward 1 also has extensions, right? He can do 1-1, down forward 1-1, and down forward 1-1-2, which all yeah, are designed to you know, keep you from interrupting his stuff. And also the last move, splits. But of course, this down for 1-1 is a high, you can duck and launch it, especially because this move is safe. Great, right? Lastly, everything we just discussed also applies for his while rising 1-2, because that's what you also see a lot next to, you know, down for 1. If they're crouched, they will go for pretty much the same, except the only difference here is that it's only plus 1 on block, but plus 14 on hit. So, you know, on hit, don't even try to, you know, parry or do anything, you just have to guess. But on block, since it's only plus 1, you have 2 more frames to interrupt all of his options, right? Which means instead of 12 frames, any move that's 14 frames or faster can interrupt his follow-ups. Except, of course, you know, again, if he just backsways and to make you whiff, or, you know, goes backsway, sidestep, cancel, whatever, right? So these things, of course, can still beat your stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much these two moves, these two pokes, down forward 1 and 1-2, are key or like, yeah, make a huge chunk of his main like poking game. Next key move is 1+2, boom, this move here. This one, similar to the up forward 2, it puts you in, or it gives Paul an advantage of +3, but it puts us, yeah, into crouch. Now there's one weird thing you should know about this, because a common follow-up after this move is his forward 2 heat engager, which is 13 frames high, but, yeah, this one. The thing is, if I block 1+2, I forward 1+2, and I hold down, I get hit by this high. You have to press down back. So, yeah. Other than that, you know, expect moves like, you know, back 3 to catch your sidestep right. Up forward 2, 100% if you're just staying, you know, waiting for him to, you know, what he will do. His down forwards 1 stuff, which will definitely also be part of, which you'll definitely use after 1+2 on block. Sidewalking, yeah, stepping, since he's +3 is still a good opportunity for even for Paul to, you know, step you. Also be aware you cannot sidestep right depending on, you know, the side you are when you're crouched. Because if, for example, you're on, you know, player 2 side where you can walk right, they might straight go for the back 3 knee to launch you. So yeah, be aware. Smart Paul players will see what you're doing and abuse everything against you. Another move he will use a lot is down 1. 14 frames mid, you know, quite good. What most people don't know, it's -9 on block, but it has 2 follow-ups, which is 1 like down 1, 2, and down 1, 4, 2. Both split, of course, it's Paul, but the good thing is, first of all, most like Pauls like to just, you know, see what you do after it, so sometimes challenging him with a low, for example, is a good and smart choice, because we want him to actually, you know, do the follow-ups, simply because you can step both follow-ups to the right. Excuse me, not both. You can step down 1, 2 to the right. The low can hit you, but often, actually, you see, these are super easy. You see, what often happens is that Paul requires a clean hit to get the full string. And also, most Paul players usually use the charged up version, you know, because it's safe on block. And the normal version, as you can see, is -17. Next move is a common round ender, 1-4, which leaves Paul crouched at +1. And the common follow-up is while rising 1-2, which you know already, into his sway mix-up or whatever. You can actually avoid this by sidewalking left. Or another option they like to use commonly afterwards is of course it's while rising 4. Next move is Heat Engager Quadricycle back 2. We already covered this move, but I want to add that pro players really like to use this move. It's safe. Heat Engager plus, you see the pushback. So common strat for pro players is to use this move and then back there for just wanting you to press something so they can wood punish you. Now next to is Demo Man, and the move we already talked about is Deep Dive to down forward to 1, which we use a lot to approach you, right? But also when you're at the wall. Another move we already talked about at the beginning for his approach is his forward to 1, and they will use this move a lot if they see you at the wall. So be aware to duck that move, but also be prepared to get splattered regardless because of the mid follow-up. Now he has another similar move to Deep Dive down forward to 1, which is his Quadricycle back 3 to 1 string. Boom. This is a 3-hit string, and you will see this a lot at the wall. Why? Simple, because the properties are pretty much the same. The last move is a high, right? And at the wall it's +7. So it's basically the same move, right? You have to duck the last, but problem. You have to be aware that he also has a mid follow-up, right? Okay, a mid variation, which is -13 on block and crouch. Watch out especially for his throws, because Paul has 2 throws that actually splat. The first one is his forward 1+2. And then he has a second one, which is not a 1+2 break, but a 1 break, which is down forward 1+3 into his death. Boom, which is guaranteed, by the way. Most Paul would probably go for the down forward 1+3 to get a splat, because the 1+2 version has a drawback. Look at this. You see, if I break the throw, he kind of gets a sort of mini splat and puts him in a really disadvantageous, I cannot speak English, in a really bad position. Okay, now we need to talk about a really important thing, which is his tackle. He basically has 3 follow-ups he can do. The first 2 are, one is a 1 or 2 break. The second is a only 1 break. And the third one is a 1+2 break. Which basically means if you press 1, you have the highest chance of escaping the follow-ups, right? And you should press 1. Here's why. Because, take a look at this. This is the first option. Broken by 1 or 2. 30 damage, okay? Next one. This is the one you have to break with 1. 50 damage, okay? And the 1+2 break. 25 damage, okay? So it's in your best interest to avoid 50 damage, because the other ones are basically just, like a regular throw. Now, here's the thing. It doesn't stop there, right? He has an OK follow-up, which is super important to know, otherwise you will eat, I don't know, I think it's like 70 damage or so. It's this move. Down back 2. This is a common follow-up after the 50, damage option. And you'll see Paul's abuse this like hell. Now, if you get hit by the chainsaw for whatever reason, because you get strong, what you have to do is, boom, quickly stand up and block, and then you can take your 11 frame punish. Anyway, definitely practice this. This is one of the commonly most used setups I saw, like Paul's one I used to kill you. Okay, another And now, extremely important setup to know, and I'm 100% sure you will see this at least once every match, is when he combos you. For example, you know, he does some combo, he bursts, and then this string, right? I'm pretty sure you've seen it. The disgusting part about this setup is that, you know, even if you roll back like this, he breaks your guard and gets some follow-up. I don't know which one it was, but you know, he can do something. Now the way how to beat this setup is by actually rolling back, and then you see, boom, you can actually interrupt this setup by like 11 frames, by like 11 frame move or faster, and yeah, never eat this setup again. Another really common follow-up is one of his lows. It's like, you know, it's 3, like 4 into forward 4. Forward 2, I mean, so both lows are +4. His forward 2 heat engager is 13 frames fast, so it's technically a frame trap, right? Of course, you can duck it, right? Or you can also step it, although you have to step it to the left, which is one, like, you know, very specific situation where you know, have to step in the left. The same applies for his SS3 into forward 2. But that's not all. Now once you, like, I mean, you could technically also just block the forward 2, right? It's -5. But here's the thing, at -5, or especially after this move, the shoulder is a common flowchart you will see. So what you will see is this, right? Because if I jab, the shoulder just crushes my jab. Of course, if you wanted to, like, you can interrupt it with a down forward 2, for example, if they're quick. Or, you know, quick mid-pop, something like that, always works. Or just block the shoulder because it's -16. Big punish. Also, if you remember, I said that his down forward 2 has evasive properties, right? Because what you can do after forward 2, you see? Although, if I'm like, you know, super on point, he can't. That's why he uses shoulder. But if Paul is at -4 or less, his down forward 2 always crushes your jabs. So generally you'll see moves like auto circle forward 1 into down forward 2, 1-2 into down forward 2, 3-2 into down forward 2, and to be honest, you have to duck this move. There's like, just duck it, because Paul can also actually go into Backsway after, which is +4, on hit +14. Yeah, really disgusting. So it's even better than his down forward 1 into Backsway on block and on hit. And yeah, you really want to make sure like that you can duck this one. It's so common, because once you duck it consistently, you know, that is one of the cheapest tools, so make sure to practice this. Then there's also down forward 1 into down forward 2, because his down forward 1 is just -2. And he has another really good move. It's his down forward 2. Sorry, down forward 4 knee. A really good move to approach, because it's a counter hit, right? Like it gives him a guaranteed hit. Anyway, it's only -2, and if you press, you get launched. And of course, this move, which we already covered in the approach section, it's only -4, and if you jab, you die. And of course, wherever he can do his down forward 2 to crush your jabs or highs, right? He can also use shoulder, and that's what you usually see at lower levels. They just go for shoulder because, you know, it's easy to mesh, it's quicker. And yeah, it's disgusting, right? There's one last move I want you to know about. It's his side flip 1. Why? Because this move if you block it, it's +8 on block, right? So you can do almost anything he wants after. But yeah, which is kind of funny. If you see Paul's abusing this, really watch if they sidestep, because usually, you know, the other option he has, of course, is his sidestep free. So be aware of Paul's, you know, sidestepping in neutral. They might use this move, and they might also go for the low, right? Which is just, you know, low-high mix-up. Alright, I'm pretty sure with this knowledge alone, you will be able to play much better against Pauls. Because it definitely helped me. I finally started to understand what they're trying to pull. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you on the next one. And by the way, the next one will be Steve.